Welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. Over the past few weeks, we've been talking to Chief Deputy Azzie Oliver from the Montgomery District Attorney's Office with regard to crime in and around central Alabama. So the gang problem has been around for quite some time.
That's correct.
It's not just, and of course, I think it's kind of getting more noticeable now because of the immigration situation, where they're letting a lot of people come here. They're not vetting the people, and very easily they can form a gang. Because if a child doesn't have something to do, he becomes prey to a gang, don't they?
Right. Again, it is well known that a child or even adults who aren't busy with something positive are going to get into something negative and become busy with that. At our I-Lead class that we do with fifth graders within the school system, working with MPS, you have students who tell you that they know or have a family member in a gang, they know gang member personally, and if, number one, if you're not supervising your child, they're more than likely to become involved in and be influenced by people who are quite frankly surrounded that they're allowed to be around. But we have to engage our children in something positive, in athletics, just like our activities are organized. You know, you have those who supervise. Well, that's the same thing. They can get involved in something on the street that's organized, but it can be crime. So we have to know where our children is, and it's just really time for parents to step up to the plate, because it is, I have seen it time and time again, to where children are out at a time that they shouldn't be, involved at a time that they shouldn't be, and you have a parent who's upset because their child then becomes a victim of a crime, but that same child, a lot of the times, have also been in the system as a defendant of a crime. So you're going to become what your environment is. Yeah, and so we as parents have really failed this day and age as far as raising our children the way we should.
And of course, we have a lot of school dropouts too. And they're a school dropout. They have no usable skills, so it's hard to get a job, and so they consequently, like you say, they've got nothing to do.
And that didn't happen overnight either. We know that the education system here in Montgomery, who are trying to do the best they can, they are lacking a lot of resources that they need. And as I said earlier this week in speaking to someone, our children don't value school.
No.
Because, number one, some of the parents don't value school and making sure that they're in school. Number two, you know, some of the schools need repairs. Some of the schools are run down. And if a child feels like nobody cares about them anyway, they're not going to take school. They're not going to take it seriously and see the importance of it. If they have not been in an environment where they see making good choices pays off, or they have role models where they see people who have made good choices are in that situation and had to work to get where they are, they're not going to choose that route. They're going to choose the route that's easy for them. And that's why when it comes to parenting, we can't just give everything to our child. They have to be taught that you have to work for what you want. You have to. You can't get things quickly. If you do, it's going to be temporary. They resort to putting a gun in somebody's face or fighting to steal somebody else's shoes, and those little things where people fail to realize once someone starts to commit crimes and what people consider small crimes or non-serious offenses, once they become emboldened, those crimes become more serious.
Is there discipline in the schools right now? In other words, when your child goes to school, they said these are the rules, and if you don't do these rules, there's consequences.
There are rules in school. There are consequences as far as discipline. But again, that home environment is everything to making that work. I've worked with some or gotten calls from teachers or our office get contacted by principals or parents whose child may be getting bullied at school, and you have MPS has systems in place to address the problem, but at the same time, if I'm encouraging my child not to fight, report it to a teacher, and the child that's causing the problem goes home and their parent does not care,
Right.
does not respond to the school, does not enforce or teach good habits at home, then we still have a problem. And then that's when the school has to take more serious steps is to, so we need to find a way to hold parents accountable for what their children are doing at school. Yeah.
And thank you, Deputy Oliver. Very good information as usual. Again, if you see something, do something about it. More importantly, you need to be involved. We'll be right back right after this.